With me is Bob Parker. He's senior advisor at Credit Suisse. Bob, thank you so much for coming in the studio. I mean, the Chinese come here every couple of months, I guess, with the hope, giving hope to the Europeans that they will buy some of the debt. We've seen now the Chinese government certainly putting their money where their mouth is. How is that going to support the European debt crisis?
Well, I think the first point to make is that the State Administration of Foreign Exchange in Beijing, which manages the bulk of China's reserves, other than the longer-term allocation made to China Investment Corporation, but SAFE, I would regard as actually one of the more professional reserve managers in the central bank community. They have not disclosed the maturity of the bonds that they are buying. They've made a very clear statement that they are buying Spanish bonds, Greek bonds, and Portuguese bonds. I suspect the maturities that they're buying are actually fairly short term. I would be very surprised if they're buying 5- and 10-year paper. If they are buying, as I suspect, perhaps 1- or 2-year paper, they are obviously going to benefit from the very significant yield pickup that we have at the moment between peripheral Europe and core Europe, and then that spread, for example, between Spanish bonds and German bonds jumped in the last 3 months from around 150 basis points to over 250 basis points. I think for duration management and also risk management purposes, I'd be very surprised if they're going much beyond 1 or 2 years.
Bob, the reason for this is what, political clouds, trying to get more into Europe to make possible long-term investments, or a pure diversification reason?
I think it's very difficult to quantify the political element here, and certainly it makes nice headlines when they come out with statements saying we're supporting the Spanish, Portuguese and Greek bond markets. China has had a long-term policy of reserve diversification, and I would estimate that they actually started to move into the euro about 10 years ago. And in fact, I think your figure there of 26% in euros by China is possibly an underestimate. They've also made a number of statements recently that they are diversifying into other emerging market currencies, such as the Russian ruble, and they are diversifying into the other Asian currencies.
Bob, I just wanted to get your take. Actually, we have some breaking news. We'll go to Manus in a second, but the Prime Minister of Spain saying that there's a new round of stress tests. He's also saying that the cajas need to find their own funding after that report from a Spanish newspaper that the central bank may actually be taking over the ones that can't repay the money. Are you worried about Spain?
Well, we have a number of concerns about Spain and have had concerns about Spain for over 2 years now. Obviously, the caja have had to be restructured. That restructuring or consolidation process goes on. There are more fundamental problems like Spain's uncompetitiveness relative to Germany and the very high level of unemployment. That's still 19.8%.
Bob, thank you so much. Bob Parker there. Well,